Hey queens, it's been a long time and I thought for this video I would just record all of the books that I read this year, and I have to be a little bit quiet because my family is sleeping. I'm recording this in the evening. And before we start, I want to say I haven't been posting lately. I have my exams at school, so I did not read anything in November because I had to study. So I didn't really read that much in December. I did read a lot because I had to get to my goal of 50 books, and I read exactly that, 50 books in 2025. So let's get started with the first book I ever read that got me into reading, and that is Mafi, A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. I cannot explain how much I love this book. Shortly after that, I read the Twisted series and It Ends With Us, and after I read those, I read the rest of the series of A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, which is Bad Blood and As Good as Dead. And I kid you not, this book, it was so good that I did not even annotate it because oh yeah, don't mind that. This is your warning, by the way, to not put your books up by a window because this is what happens. I regret it so much because I had this little cute book setup in front of my window, and then I changed the setup and I had them there for like 2 weeks. Anyways, this book was so good. I only annotated like the beginning, but it was so good. I finished it in like 2 days, while these all took me like a week. And then we have Twisted Lies, which I also read as an ebook for obvious reasons. That book was way too long. And then we have Powerless. This book, oh my god, I love this so much. This is my Roman Empire, and I think I'll say that a lot in this video. But this series, at the time I only read this book, and as you know, it follows Scarlett, the main character, and then you also have her sister, and you follow her in the next 2 books, and everyone hates on Donatella, the sister. But honestly, I love Donatella. Don't hate on my girl. And then we have King of Wrath. Yeah, good book. Nothing more to comment on that one. And then the best decision of my life, and it is the Powerless series. And I started reading Powerless, and I finished this in like, I don't know, way too fast. And as you can see, I also put this one up by the window. I had to order Reckless, and I had to wait like a week. I thought I had to wait another week for it to arrive, but then it arrived in like 2 days, and I was so happy because I could finally finish the series for what was there at that time. And this was March or something, I think so, because this was all April. So then we have Agatha Christie. This one I read in my native language, which is Dutch. The ABC Mystery, if I translate it directly. Yeah, it was nice, but I mean, the ending, I still don't know who did it. In the entire book there were like 3 or 4 clues, and I like when it is like a murder mystery or crime, I like to have some clues so I could have known who it was throughout the book before I found out. And in that book, you just got all the information at the ending, where Hercule Poirot just starts explaining everything. And I was, what? No. I mean, yeah, but no. And then I read The Cat Who Saved Books. Oh, it's so ruined. That's so sad. And I read this one because my aunt brought this from one of her travels, and she read it first because it was a pretty book, and then she gave it to me and I got to keep it. It was a really beautiful book. It's originally written in, I think, Japanese, yes, Japanese, and just a little warning before you start this book. It has 4 chapters and it's 200 pages, so every chapter is 50 pages. But yeah, it was beautiful. It follows like this boy who inherits this library from his grandfather, which he grew up with, and he's mourning his grandfather. But then there is a cat that comes into his bookstore, and the cat suddenly goes on all kinds of adventures with him because there are people in like alternate universes that are doing things with books that shouldn't be done. For example, there is this guy who makes abridged or shortened versions of every book because he thinks it'll make people read more, but that's not great to make people read more. So then he and the cats go talk to that person and make them stop doing what they're doing and realize that what they're doing is maybe not so good. So yeah, definitely give that a read. And then we have The Hating Game. I actually watched the movie before I read the book because I did not know there was a book. And honestly, I liked the movie, but the book was so much better because there were a lot of things in the movie that or didn't happen in the book, and then there were a lot of things that happened in the book that didn't happen in the movie. If you've read this book, then you'll know what I mean. The paintball scene. Then we have Powerful. I bought this on my school trip. I read that after the school trip, by the way. And then this one, Fearless, and I remember I was so happy that I got the paperback of this one because everyone was like, oh, it's not in paperback, Lauren, please release it in paperback. And I have it in paperback. And the thing is, I was so excited because it arrived just in time for my school trip, so I could read it on the school trip. But I did not end up reading it on the school trip. I ended up reading it after Powerful. This ripped my heart out in like 15 different ways. And then we have Girl in Pieces. I did not know what to read after I finished Fearful, so I figured because I was in pieces, let's just read Girl in Pieces. And when I tell you, yeah, this one was also up by my window, but when I tell you I cried. My poor girl. This one was so insightful and it was such a good book. This one was so insightful and it made me like really think, you know, which that sounds so blonde, oh my god. And then I left for vacation in August and I read the Shatter series. And you know, there are a lot of people that say that the series is not good and it's boring and it's weirdly written, but and I have the last book here, but I couldn't get it in the case because I think I put too much sticky notes in all the books, but I don't think that's, I don't know. But anyways, this series, oh my lord, this was so good, and Warnett is just And if you are reading this and you are currently reading or have read Shatter Me or what is it, Unravel Me, and you thought they were boring or it is boring, please I beg you, continue reading, and when you've finished Ignite Me and you didn't like it, then you can not continue the series. But if you've only read Shatter Me and you say, no, this book was boring, it was a bad book, that's not how we do it in this house. You pick up that next book, you read it, you think, this was not bad, that was not good either. Then you pick up Ignite Me, and then if you didn't like that, there's something wrong with you, but then you can stop reading. I read the entire series in like 20 days. And then we have Legendary and Finale. And when people say that Caraval, the first book, is the best book of the Caraval series, I'm sorry, but you've gotta be lying. I mean, it's fun. But have you read Legendary? This book was pure perfection. And that ending, oh my god. If I just know that if I hadn't looked up fan art, that would be so good, that plot twist. Ooh. Same thing goes for this series. If you've read Caraval and you think, oh, this is boring in the middle somewhere, then continue reading till you finish Caraval, and then after you finish Caraval, if you then say, oh, this book wasn't that good, I don't know if I want to read the second book, read that second book. Read it. And if you don't like that, then okay. Completely okay. Not really, but... And then we have Fourth Wing. After I finished this, I had my doubts, but it was so good. And the romance was romancing. At first, I didn't really understand why Satan didn't kill her, because they're supposed to be like enemies and stuff. But that all becomes clear in like the next books. Yeah, 5-star read, by the way. Then I finished King of Pride, which took me so long. I thought it was so boring. Oh my god. And then I also finished The Body in the Library. That's also Agatha Christie, and in comparison to that other one I read, this one was 10 times better. I understood what the hell was happening, first of all, and there was a logical ending. You got clues throughout the whole book. And then Watch Me. Oh, I love it so much. And because I read like Fourth Wing just before this, I was like kind of disappointed in the romance section of this book, but that I know that was unfair for me to make that judgment, because in the Shatter Me series, oh my god, that was such a trust the process as well. I cannot wait till the 7th of April, because then the second book in the New Republic series will be out. And then we have Killjoy, and I got that one from the library. I read that one because I was trying to finish all of my series, and that was also why I finished this one. Killjoy, I read that to conclude the A Good Girl's Guide to Murder series, and it was a short book. It was 136 pages, I believe. I read it in one sitting in an hour and a half. It did not add like anything to the plot of A Good Girl's Guide to Murder itself, but if you want a quick transportation back into the series, I would definitely recommend reading it. Then, the longest book I read this year, Iron Flame. Yeah, this one was 768 pages, and I loved every single one of them. You can see how much I annotated, and yeah, this one was good. And I just love how Rebecca Yarros plots out her books, because everything makes sense in the end, you know? And then Onyx Storm. This is the largest paperback I own, and I don't mean like the thickest paperback, but literally like the largest. Shit is larger than my face. I liked it, don't get me wrong, but I didn't love it. There were some moments there, but... And then we have Better Than the Movies. This one was good. Loki, I expected more from this though, because it gets a lot of hype, and they get together in like the last 3 pages or something, which is not something I usually like. But in the beginning, it was she and... I'm just gonna let my cat in. I like this book. I gave it, what, 4 stars or something? No, we're not gonna do that. No. Okay, and then we have Nothing Like the Movies, which was so much better than the movies, because she wasn't just like,
oh my god, Michael, notice me, I'm not the old Liz anymore, I'm not the weird kid who used to write theaters.
No, she's like actually like a woman. She's stronger. She's not that weak ass little girl she used to be. Like this time she's actually different. Stop, please. She was pushing over my books. So anyways, then we have the greatest disappointment of all time, basically. I didn't really understand the hype around this series, but it's not finished yet, and I have the 4th book on my shelf, and I really want to read it because I have trust in that it will get better, but because it was already very popular when it was only these 3 books, I really have sincere doubts for this one. Don't get me wrong, in the 1st book, the plot is plotting, but the pacing is just not good. You have like this, nothing, absolutely nothing happens. And then you have this, and then suddenly everything happens. And don't even get me started between the relationship between Alize and Kamran, because what do you mean you see that girl once and you fall in love with her? You've spoken what, like 150 words toward her?
Yeah, no.
The ending was good, and I was excited to read the next book. So I did. I read the next book, and it was 401 pages of nothing. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Did love the relationship between Alize and Cyrus, but plot, still looking for the plot because there wasn't any in this book. So then I read this book, which, oh my god, it is so stunning. Look at it. Unfortunately, it disappointed again. 400 pages of nothing. There was one thing that happened here. The rest is just like romance and slow burn. Why is he torturing himself so much? I did love like the tension between Miss Huda and Kamran, because they're like, and oh my god, Kamran is such a crybaby. Oh my god, I cannot with him. When I had to read his POV like every chapter, like every 2 chapters in this one, I was like dying, I swear to god. But I did love like that they're all on the trip together and they're like bantering, and it's like the most unlikely people together, and they're just like, they make a fun group, you know. But for the rest, huge disappointment. And then I saved this book for the holidays because, as you know, I finished the Caraval series a few months prior, somewhere in September, and I decided to wait to read this one till the holidays, so I did. Not much happened. I loved every second of it once again, and this book, it was a work of art. Just gonna let you take a look at this. Oh my god, I've been recording for like half an hour. I can remove the dust cover, and it's even more stunning. Yeah, there's nothing on the back, but it's even more stunning. There's like a lot of drawings. This is just, it looks like a children's book, but it's so beautiful. Like, yeah. And then I read Fearful, and that's the novella after Fearless. And this book, it confused me because like at first it was nice. I liked where Lauren Roberts was coming from. I liked the perspectives and shit, and I most of all liked Lenny and Blair. Ooh, so much. Yeah, I love that. But then the ending came. Like, there is no happy ending. So I'm still confused on that one, but whatever. And then we have The Naturals. I have been putting off reading this for so long. It is just so good. I think I like the third book in the series the best because it gives you a little bit more perspective on Sloane's background, and oh my god, Sloane, they could never make me hate you. If you haven't read it yet, go read it. Please, what are you waiting for? Pick it up right now, go buy it, go download it, I don't care. It was chef's kiss. That concludes my 2025 reading wrap up. I'll see you in the next video, which will probably be a Christmas haul. I love you for watching this entire half an hour of content with me, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.